It's chi terang ngondru dang dar. Ngondru. Ngondru dadala. Dixon. The long kona Dixon. Chiran de sano.
Omala juba jusos, Omala juba. Omala juba shibu, Oma Trosana, Oma Zawashiro Jaure. Oma Zawashiro. Jubasana, Oma Juba, Oma Zawashiro Jubares. Saba the Jacho Nijukun Jubes. Saba the Jachi Nijukune. Zawashiro Juba Yinzan, Omala Jubas. That's good. Uma Sawachera.
Then Ju Jupa.
I wish I had that. Uma Juba the Uma Sawachera Juba is.
Jusena?
Jubas.
George?
Juba, Telandroa.
Droa. Okay. Okay. Enter. Okay. Lesso. Okay.
Uma Juba. Uma Sawachera Juba. Sajini Jugune. Juba Yintan. Uma Jubas.
Okay. Okay, so when we look at this text by Chandrakirti, it's called the Uma Jupa in Tibetan, and the Madhyamika Avatara in Sanskrit. And in this English, we're using the introduction to the middle way, or entrance to the middle way, sometimes translated as. And the reason that I'm using the word entrance is actually what Rinpoche's commentary is. So when we look at the Tibetan word Uma, we wonder where that comes from. It's the middle way, and it's referring to the Uma that's in the root wisdom text, the Umatsawa Shira by Nagarjuna. So the root wisdom text by the Mulya Madhyamika Karika, it's called in Sanskrit, written by Nagarjuna, has within it this middle way, and that is in reference to that. And the Jew is going into or entering into. So entering into the middle way, or an introduction to the middle way, is translated here. So this is the reason for the name entrance to the middle way of the text, referring the middle way to the Nagarjuna Mulya Madhyamika Karika, and then the Jew referring to going into or entering into. Disun. That's good. So then in the Tibetan text it says, in the Sanskrit language, it is called the Madhyamika Avatara. In the Tibetan language, it's called the Uma Jupa, the entrance to the middle way. So that's how the text begins. I don't think it's here, but that's how it begins. And translators note, as I always say in classes, you always see the Sanskrit at the beginning, and in this case you see it here. In Sanskrit, it's called the Madhyamika Avatara. In Tibetan, it's called this. Diso. Lesso. Jayang. Lesso. Lesso. Okay, that's good. The Vinaya Sutra. Okay, that's good. That's good. Kali Kali Rinpoche. Kali Kali. Dopi Dun Dun the Nanchan Gyanja Suranang. Kali Kali the Ne Suranang. Gangisana NG cake. Then the Zu Abhidharma. Okay. Okay. Jambeyang. Okay, Tuche.
Dudu dena ina ngola sanje de shanju sambala shaze uguyus. Dudu dena ina ngola tanje sambala shaze uguyus. Kama jabu veji jabu train.
Then the Tamche Chemba the doa
Tanje sambala sanje ro.
Hakoson. Yene the doa the Vinaya basket?
Yes.
Okay, Tuchina. Okay, so at the beginning of the text it says, homage to Manjushri Kumara, tender, generous, ever youthful. So here this is making a prostration or paying homage to Lord Manjushri. And the reason for this is that it shows that it's going to be explaining the Abhidharma basket. So when we look at the three baskets, we have the Vinaya basket, the Sutra basket, and the Abhidharma basket. And as a note, the Abhidharma basket deals with wisdom. So whenever the text falls categorically under an Abhidharma basket, it pays homage to Manjushri at the beginning. If it falls categorically under a Sutra basket, it pays homage to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And if it falls categorically under the Vinaya basket, there is homage paid to omniscience at the beginning. So we know by the fact that homage was paid to Manjushri that this text will fall under the Abhidharma basket.
Tanya Tudan, Raja Duzo, Jukan Libarisana, Tuan Libaris, Sanje, Shajatuba, and Tubi Ombol Libaris, Yetu Sanjin Dina, Tuanje, Tanje the Jukan Latina Juarisana, Sanje Shanchu Sambal Tunwaris, Sanje Shanchu Sambal Letters. Hinji Santa Niso Melodan, Shanju Sen Jasina Jus, Shanju Sembe Jodu Shosana, Hinji J, Niso Melotoni to be Sheraje, Hinji Santa Niso Melodan, Shanju Sen Sombala, Shanju Sen Juma Sombadel Jebares, Hinji Santa.
Don't need to be sure.
Hinju Dan, Shanju Sen. Chenmo dan Shanju Sen Lama Shen Yo Marwa. And the Shanju Sen Chenmo. Shanju Sen Hinji Sen the Niso Melo dan Shanju Sen Jasina Jo. Shanju Sen Chenmo Sombo de Jasi Shanju Sen Pasu Jures.
Okay, then in Ichua the Nyentu dang the Tambo. Nyentu dang Rangel? Those half Sui. Tuan Su. Tuan?
Shaja Tubala Suba. Tuan Jibares.
Halfway to Buddha. Shacha Tupala Tsopa.
Tuan Dacha Tubal.
Nyentu dang.
Nyentu dang Raja Mambuyoro.
Okay.
Kanga Shaja Tubal Jiba Marwa. And the Tuan and then Sanji Mambuyoro. What is Sanji Tul Jibares, Sanji Baba.
I'm just, I'm going to have to move on because I'm not getting the vocabulary. It's just something minor. But so the Shravakas and those halfway to Buddhahood are born from the mighty sage. And I don't have the Tibetan in front of me, so I'm having trouble repeating what I don't, here. So I don't want to cause a lot of time. No, I don't have the Tibetan. It's not in that. The Shravakas and those halfway to Buddhahood are born from the mighty sage, and Buddhas take their birth from bodhisattva heroes. Compassion, non-duality, the wish for Buddhahood for the other's sake are causes of the children of the conqueror. So here it's saying that when we look at the connected nature of these results, it says the Shravakas and those halfway to Buddhahood My question, the Shravakas are referring to the hearers. Those halfway to Buddhahood is the term that I'm having trouble with. So it sounds like those within the likeness of what the mighty sage teaches, something to that effect, but I'm not confident. I asked if it was a solitary realizer necessarily, and the Rinpoche, the Becha ditst Gongel Mepachi. Sorry. Nyentu Sanje Jin. Nyento Sanje Jinam. Ale. Nyentu Sanje Jin. The Rangel. Rang Sanje. Ale. Puik the Yomare. The NGK Yomare. Ale. Okay. That Gangensen, I need a copy of this for next class. Like, this is going to be impossible without it. Okay. They clarified it. No. Sanjay. Chinam. Chinang, Rinpoche? Chinang? Chinang? Sena? Nyentu Sanjay Chinang? Chinang Sena?
Sanjay Din Sena, Rajat Sanjay Din is.
Rangel Ale Sanjay Din Dan Rangel Dunchik?
Yes.
Okay, Tuche. Okay, so clarification. The Shravakas and those halfway to Buddhahood are referring to Pratyeka Buddhas. Another name for a Pratyeka Buddha is a Buddha halfway there or something like that. A halfway Buddha? I think it's more like a halfway Buddha. What is Pratyeka? We'd have to look at what the Pratyeka, but it's usually Rang Sanjay, but in this case they're using a word that is halfway, so it means Pratyeka Buddha. So hearers and solitary realizers are born from the mighty sage, from the Buddha, and Buddhas take their birth from bodhisattva heroes. Compassion, non-duality, the wish for Buddhahood for others' sake are the causes of the conqueror's children. So the children of the conqueror is referring to a bodhisattva. That's another word for a bodhisattva. And a bodhisattva is cause. So it's saying that compassion, non-duality is the wisdom realizing emptiness. So it's compassion, non-duality, parentheses, the wisdom realizing emptiness, the wish for Buddhahood for others' sake, all come together as causes for the children of the conqueror. Diksung Rinpoche, Tuche. Oh boy. Then Ron Sanjay Gegen Google Mare? Sipatama. Okay. So what is the difference between the hearer and the solitary realizer? The hearer requires much explanation at their place, whereas the solitary realizer's last state within cyclic existence requires no external explanation. As a note, you would have to have had previous teachings in a previous life and imprints of that. But for a solitary realizer, their Rinpoche, the Rang Sangje, the Ngama Gegen Yure, Yine, the so it's really that last stage within cyclic existence where the teacher is not needed for the Pratyeka Buddha to achieve his or her arhatship or state of foe destroyer, which is nirvana. So Pratyeka Buddha's nirvana doesn't require in their last stage or life in cyclic existence, the explanation. That's why the word solitary is used. The solitary, realized alone. Rang, that they've chosen the word solitary, but rang really is from your own side. It's really your own, yours. So it'd be like a your own realizer. But solitary is fine. But the rang means my, its own, of its. Okay. So that's the difference, is that the hearers require hearing in the teachings, whereas the solitary realizers achieve a stage where there's the last life and they don't require that. Disun. So because they are considered smaller Buddhas, that's why it says halfway, those halfway to Buddhahood. That word, din, I'd like to look up the word. Jipo jing, did jing, jipo jing, chipa, jing, jing, sik chipa? Okay, it's not the same word as the, okay. Tuche. Ale. So when we look at the solitary the hearers, for instance, we would say that they were the small Buddha. When the solitary realizers, they call halfway to Buddha. So that's why it sounds like middling, almost like middle. I asked Rinpoche if it's the same word for middle capacity, this middle, and he said it's a little different, but there seems to be this similarity in this. So it's almost like middle, halfway, middle way. Yeah, it makes sense. Learn something new every day. Just took 25 years. So if we were to ask, what are the causes of the Buddha superior, or of Buddha Arya, we would say that the cause of the Buddha superior is the Bodhisattva. Disa. The sentient tamche, the ninji kale ninji Chenpo sentient tamche the mipa. Okay. Tuche. Dugyo dan chewa. Okay. Tuche. Dene.
Lama shon shangju sen yo marwa. Shangju sen dabo shangju sen yo ro. Odel shangju sen. Hinji sen da ni so mal sana toni du bishero re.
Then the tambo, the ninji, then the ninji tseni, the nga kanga yure. Then nipa.
Ninji sen da shangju sen jo ma.
Ninji sen dan shanchu sem ju mo. Then shanchu sem ju mo, shanchu sem yimbe.
Shanchu sem dabu san dan sen ju ro. Odel shanchu sen ju mo lo re.
Ale. Ale, ju mo gang.
Ta ninji chenpo dan to so go so. Na sen ja ta ji go zu so ji go tu ba sha wo nya be. San lu ba ju nu so ja ba ju ro.
Tuche.
Odel ju mo lo re.
Tuche, seldu.
Ninji chenpo dan ta dan toni du be shero so bo de shanchu sen ge ju de is. Shanchu sen be ju.
Lesso. Tuche na. We're doing commentary, just in anybody was wondering. So and then it says, and Buddhists take their birth from bodhisattva heroes. Compassion non-duality, the wish for Buddhahood for others' sake, are the causes of the children of the conqueror. So here it says compassion. What is compassion? Compassion's object of observation is, when we look at the word compassion, if we put in parentheses before it, great compassion, because that's what we're looking at. Great compassion has as its object of observation all sentient beings. And the wish, or the state of mind, or the wish of that state of mind, is that all of those sentient beings are free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So one has all sentient beings as his or her object of observation, and then wishes that all of those sentient beings are free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And that is great compassion. And as a note, because it's all sentient beings, it becomes great compassion. So the object of observation isn't a singular, it's the plurality of all. And then it says non-duality, which is the wisdom realizing emptiness. So the wisdom realizing reality. So this compassion coupled with that wisdom, and the wish for Buddhahood for others' sake. So Rinpoche said that this isn't bodhicitta itself. It's like bodhicitta. It's a wish to become a Buddha that's similar to that of bodhicitta. And as a translator's note, the reason it's not bodhicitta is because if that's there, then the person's a bodhisattva. So it's that kind of wish to get that kind of. So Rinpoche said this wish for Buddhahood for others' sake is similar to bodhicitta, which is defined for a wish for Buddhahood for the sake of others, but it's only similar, a facsimile of, which then, coupled with the wisdom realizing emptiness, compassion, then generates a bodhisattva, are the cause of a bodhisattva. Okay, Diksung Rinpoche. So if one is a bodhisattva, though, we don't say that he or she has wisdom realizing emptiness necessarily. It's not a qualification that he or she has the wisdom realizing emptiness to be a bodhisattva. It's solam. So then you could say, here's an example. I didn't even think of that. That the example of all of the bodhisattvas who are in the Vibhashika school, all of the bodhisattvas who are on the Sutrantika school, all the bodhisattvas who are in the mind-only school, and all the bodhisattvas that are in the middle way autonomy school, do not realize emptiness because they don't have a correct view of emptiness. They don't realize emptiness, so they therefore don't have the wisdom realizing emptiness. So then a tsolam, the shanchu semba tsolampa julampa doni dopi shira yomare.
Julampa la doni dopi shira yogore. Tsolampa la doni dopi shira yomayo. Shira ma dopa sensaba. Omara juba shanchu semba yorwa. Tasui jula doni dopi shira yomare. Doni ma dopi ejer. Doni dopi kadayina oma tanjo yomchagore. Lesso.
Then the uma tenjo at tsolampa doni dopi shira purabe.
Yede.
The Yine the doni dopi shira yomare. The tsolam. Tsolan shanchu semba. Okay, so, all right, so we can say that there are, first of all, an example of a bodhisattva who does not have the wisdom realizing emptiness is any bodhisattva who is not a middle way consequential school holder of that view, because that's the only correct view of emptiness. So it's only any of the bodhisattvas in any of the schools don't have that wisdom, that aren't the middle way consequent school, don't have the wisdom realizing emptiness. And then I asked Rinpoche, I said, well, what about the path of accumulation, and what about the path of preparation? And he said that, well, at the path of accumulation there are two. There are those bodhisattvas, because once you get to the path of accumulation in the Mahayana vehicle, you're a bodhisattva. The qualification of the entrance to the path of accumulation is that you get bodhicitta, and then you become a bodhisattva. So Rinpoche said that there are bodhisattvas at that point which are already have the wisdom realizing emptiness, and those who don't. But none of them who are in the Vabhashka school, Sutrantika school, my Chittamantran school, or the what is it? The Madhyamika. What did we say it was? Svatantrika. So anything among those lower schools wouldn't be considered the wisdom realizing emptiness. And then I said, what about the path of preparation? And he said, at the path of preparation there is that inference. So we would say that there is this wisdom. Then Rinpoche, Jepag Tsema Doni Dopi Sherap Yin. The Doni Jepag Sema Yuna Doni Dopi Sherap Yu Doni Dopi Sherap Ngutsum Gu. Got it. Jepag Gu.
Jepag Gu de Gu Maro, Ngutsum Yoro.
Then the Doni Dopi Sherap Ngutsum Yin Gu?
Gu Maro.
Okay, so in order to have the wisdom realizing emptiness, it's not necessarily for it to be direct valid, it can be inferential. So that's why at the path of preparation, there's this big C. At the path of preparation that we say there is this wisdom realizing emptiness because there's inferential valid cognition, which is incontrovertible. Nene?
Ta Niji Chenmo de la Son Yores. Niji Chenmo de la Son Ji. Shenchen Zang la Mebi Niji Chenmo. Chu la Mebi Niji Chenmo. Mime la Mebi Niji Chenmo. Son Yores.
So when we look at great compassion, there are three categories of it. Great compassion, hold on, what is this? The Yanjur Surunang, the Ewa Sum.
Shenchen Zang la Mebi Niji Chenmo. Shenchen Zang la Mebi Niji Chenmo Zana. Chu la Mebi Niji Chenmo Tang. Mime la Mebi Niji Chenmo. Mayimbi Niji Chenmo Tela. Shenchen Zang la Mebi Niji Chenmo.
Okay. Ngi Chingiyu.
Chula Mebi Niji Chenmo Zana. Mataba Tubi. Shiro Ji Simbi. Niji Chenmo Tela. Chula Mebi Niji Chenmo.
Nene?
Mime la Mebi Niji Chenmo Zana.
Observation.
Toni Tubi. Shiro Ji Simbi. Niji Chenmo Tela. Mime la Mebi Niji Chenmo.
Observation. Ngi Chingiyu. Tuchena. So if we were to divide great compassion or compassion into categories, we would say that there were three. Great compassion that observes sentient beings, great compassion that observes phenomena, and great compassion that observes the observationless, or that which can't be observed, something to that effect. So the first category is a great compassion that observes sentient beings' suffering, so observes the sentient being's plight. And then the next is the that which observes phenomenon, recognizes the suffering of the impermanence of the suffering of the sentient beings as well. So that is, and if as a translator's note, it's going from the lowest to the highest kind of great compassion. The lowest form is the one that just recognizes the suffering, and then the one that recognizes the impermanence of the suffering. And then the next one, which is the highest, is the observationless, which recognizes the emptiness of the object, or that's why it's observationless, the emptiness of the object. So these are the three categories: the compassion that observes sentient beings, compassion that observes phenomena, and compassion that observes that which can't be observed. There's another word they use, I can't remember. It's the one that's in Lama Tsongkhapa's mantra. Dikson.
Ama gaden tsuzu juwa, chaba suwa chi. O tala nga su tasi tanga niso melo tu shuwa sana, ku dodong niso mebe yid jasa.
Yanja sunan gonga mebe chi ngir the da.
Henji senta niso melo tanga, gaden chaba suwa juwa re. Nga su kansan tasi jaka yung re. nga su ta se tong ro ni su ma lu sho la la de la kong de don ni su me be she che le
Nisu gare.
ni se de ni su ma lu sho so na ni su ma lu don ni du she ro don ni du she ro ma ja ba je ku de don ni su me be she ja se.
Okay, then a kalikai, then nisu the nangla the doni dopi shera. Ninji nisu. Okay, ninji gangisane nga becha me. Nga uma becha me. The nga okay. The nisu the
nisu me lu sho so na.
Yeah. Doni dopi shera. Less so. Then
de don ni su me be she che chen la re. De don ni su me be she che so de nga su ge ba jue re.
less so.
Te ya bu re ten de ya bu re se ta. Nisu me lu ta don ni du she ro ja wo na.
So I remember when we were looking at this word non-duality that's used here, and it's chosen word. The word in Tibetan is a little more obscure, I guess. So that's why the story. So they were talking about in a debate how that this word was similar to the wisdom realizing emptiness, and an older Geshe had gotten up, I guess, and said that it was auspicious. I think this is, you know how bad I am at stories. Auspicious that they had come to this conclusion and thought it was a very good way to explain what the pith of this word meant, even though it didn't pervade all bodhisattvas. So as a translator's note, all bodhisattvas don't have that, so it says are the causes. It seems strange, but I guess the elder stood up and said that putting that there is auspicious in some way. I'm sorry, but just realize that the word non-duality there in the Tibetan is something that's a little more obscure, and that we're just saying it's the wisdom realizing emptiness, but it's a little more obscure, and obviously it's obscure because it says are causes of the conqueror's children, but it doesn't say are the, it just says are causes. So there's not specificity there. It doesn't say are the only, it says are causes. And there are conqueror's children who have it, and there are conqueror's children who don't. So there are causes. So it's a little, it's in the Tibetan. If I had it in front of me, it'd be easier. But Diksum. Less so. Less so. So here, children of our compassion, non-duality, the wish for Buddhahood for the other's sake, are causes of the children of the conqueror. Rinpoche is saying that these things cause what? A child of the conqueror. What is a child of the conqueror? It's a bodhisattva. So that's what, whenever you see children of the conqueror, or conqueror's children, that's referring to a bodhisattva. Vid jusum sumba karum mena shanchu semba maybe cha macha gangi. Okay.
Shanchu semba on tu shira mo.
Tuche. Okay. Tuche.
Omar raju bi shanchu semba yoro.
Okay.
O to so ngolo toni du shiro le ba maro.
Less so. So I said then we can say in conclusion that if it is compassion, if it is among the three, compassion, non-duality, and the wish for Buddhahood for others' sake, it is not necessarily the cause of every bodhisattva. So we don't say that you have to have those three in order for you to be a bodhisattva. And if you say, well, posit that which is a bodhisattva that doesn't have these three, and you would say a bodhisattva who is a Vibhashika or a Satrantika or Chittamantran or a Madhyamika Svatantrika. Okay, Tuche.
다들 강시진이 자유로도 평소인데 사변단은 빌라 준다原人도 롱슈 내라 해봐 다보 되줘봐 대셔다그 도만이지 되봐지스 다바단 다와다베 오만주바 골레 네 사제도 상주선 버들 쳐봐줘 말해 진지 첨을 쳐봐줘 버려스 진지 쳐봐줘 그 주생 가르스나 네 롱슈 내라 사변단은 빌라 준다原人도 롱슈原人도 롱슈 내라 해봐 따보 줘봐이 대시다게 도만이지 떠봐지스 단이지부터 사주 구분도 발라 토마케 좋아 바도케 좋아 타마케 좋아스
맞아요.
일단 안에 받은 더라베 오만주 원래 진지를 제벌로 줘봐주고 주센터레스
So okay. So what is the reason? So next we have another homage being paid. Of a Buddha's abundant crop, compassion is the seed. It is like moisture bringing increase, and it is said to ripen in the state of lasting happiness. Therefore, to begin, I celebrate compassion. So here, right at the beginning of the text, we see homage paid to great compassion. And that's because compassion's important at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. So at all stages, and even while one is a Buddha. From the beginning up to while one is a Buddha, compassion is important. So that's why it says it's like it's the seed, and it brings increase, and it ripen in the state of lasting happiness. So these are those three: the beginning, middle, and end. Tambo ke Chenpo tambo.
tambo mego tree tambo mego tree yoro. mego tree toma ke jo sabun. Bato ke jo chulu. Tama ke jo ndebe meba. Mego den sa yoro da. O tesu tesundele toma ke jo bato ke jo tama ke jo as. Tena jin saji ko mo to bolo toma ke jo jinji je bato ke jo jinji sen da. So
we can see that like a mango seed is important at the beginning and the middle of the end. The mango seed for it to be planted, then for it to sprout, and then for the fruit to be produced. Without that seed having been present, we don't have those three things. Likewise, if we look at compassion, we see that compassion is the seed that's planted, and that's at the beginning of the path when one develops this compassion. And then in the middle, compassion then generates bodhicitta, and one is a bodhisattva and going through the bodhisattva stages. And then at the end, when one is a Buddha. So in the beginning, middle, and end. Before one is a bodhisattva, while one is a practicing bodhisattva, not a Buddha, and then at the end, when one is a Buddha. Compassion is important through all of those stages. It's what sprouts these things. Rinpoche, the Loju, the Drakpa, the Kagom, Garshane kon Uma Rason, Jutsen Garre, Konso Kagom, Garshane, the Dawa Drapa, the Uma Tsile, Konso Uma Yomare, Ngak Jason.
Naletalo, the Kewadan, Paju Uma Mamayoro.
Less so.
And the Badan daughter of Nebalondula, and the Paju Omajugo Mares.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
And the more Travasulo, the charters of Pubores.
So we also know that Chandrakirti was a very powerful being, and there's stories of his magical stories of him when there were not cows weren't producing milk or enough milk. something to this degree in Nalanda Monastery that Chandrakirti actually drew a picture of a cow and milked it. So there's a story of Chandrakirti also having these magical abilities, just to show the greatness of the author. Then there's another story that an army was making its way to Nalanda Monastery, and everyone was scared because it was a learning center. It wasn't an army, so they were terrified that the army was advancing. And Chandrakirti said, "Don't worry about it." And everyone couldn't believe that he wasn't scared, and he didn't have any fear. And then, as the army started to advance closer, Chandrakirti split open these snow lion statues that were made of stone, and out came snow lions, and 2 of them, and they advanced on the army, and the army retreated. Didn't they?
Oh yeah, that
Okay. Less so. Dene?
Tell me, maybe the Nishambo Euro. The Nishambo, maybe Nishambo Chubaju, Nishambo
Shatse.
Telandus, Teleshatse, what is.
Okay, this Shalokatsa. Yeah. Okay. So now the third stanza. Beings think I at first and cling to self. They think of mine and are attached to things. They thus turn helplessly as buckets on a water wheel, and to compassion for such beings I bow down. Beings think I at first and cling to self. So here, this is referring to the first, the root of cyclic existence, the grasping at the I as being truly established. So grasping at true establishment. So when we look at the progression, first we grasp at the I as being truly established. Then they think of mine and are attached to things. So then the I is truly established, and that's what's mine is truly established. My house, my car, my Kamba Mota. I think he gave one other, I forgot what the other example was. My house, my car, my shoes. Then we grasp at these things that we think are ours as being truly established, and we establish them as ours, as mine. They thus turn helplessly as buckets on a water wheel. So here, this is why sentient beings circle around cyclic existence over and over again, without independence, without any choice. So that's why the word helplessly is put there, because there's no independence there. We're helplessly being thrust again and again through cyclic existence. And it says, to compassion for such beings I bow down. So here, Chandrakirti is paying homage to compassion again, and the compassion that wishes these beings be free from suffering, the causes of suffering. So that state of mind Chandrakirti is bowing down to, the compassion for beings who grasp at the I, grasp at mine, and then are thrust into cyclic existence. Dixon. Chishina Shaluka Chik Manga?
Yeah. Nabatana.
Dawa.
Kundu zombie, maybe Ranga Gawalas, Satambu Mire, Satambu Rodo Gawa, Satul Miro, Satambu Rodo Gawa, Nibatama Meba, what the Satambu, Shanju Simple Satambu the Rodo Gawa.
Oh, okay. Less so. So this first chapter is called Perfect Joy, and it's the first ground is the way that it is translated, really. Because when Satambo, so the first chapter, first ground, and it's called Perfect Joy. You see, it's on the top here.
Shangchu Samba Shiji Dani Shiji Dani Nieto Dani Nieto
Rinpoche, Nge Sampa the Chik Jason, the Samchen, the Dawa Dang Chu, Dawa Moon, Natsu Shiloka Jipa Lepson, the Samchen, the Dawa Moon, the Chu, the moon. Then this Shiloka, Kabiyore. The Dawa. The Kabiyore. Natsu the Dawa Danchu.
Chunda Yunendo. Onshunella Meba Toma Kejo, Sabin Tabo, Bato Kejo, Chuli Tabo, Tama Kejo, and Debu Meba. Sanji Kumu, Toma Kejo, Sabin Tabo, Yishambo. Bato Kejo, Shanchu, Tama Kejo, Sanji.
This are, then eh?
Onshunella, Meba Tabo Dojoba, Tishidaga, Toma Yija. This thing is what on Chenmo Joba is.
Then eh?
Jobaji. Tomong Ashi Dala Shenshi, Dag and this Shingola. Sushin said the Rama by Roland Hiji Gondolandus.
Then eh?
Call a queer Judicaresana. Tomong Ashi Dala Shenshi, not the butter was in Denzita. Dag and this Shingola Chachiba. The Dago Chapachaba. What the Dagan Dishingola Chachi was Sushin Jutala Tene, and the Rama of Kual Kuderis.
Okay. Then Jipa? Jindu.
Sushin and Roland, Hijigan Tolandus, Roy Chu Nagan the water.
There, Dawa.
Yutarajini, Tomba, Tomaye. Sabaton village in the unit. Lonshet number to a shasher. Change one judging. Go to zombie maybe. Rango Gawala.
This Shiloka Napa.
Never than Tombosha was.
Then the Nimonga.
Jay 7 days. Jay 7 days. Second. Roana. Number 2 a shasher. Change one judging. 자유 세보 장주선 버와 어데 니제비 제와도 줘버렸어 자유 세보서는 장주선 버로 자유 세번데는 네 세건 좋아나 나버 좋아하시 현재 세제 다지 등에도 전화냐비 현재의 정화제です현재의 정화제 현재 왕주지 근도 좀비메비 로도가와 샤주선바 근도 좀비 말랑을 때네 가서 쇼유 사동버로도가와
Okay, tuche.
야
Okay, so then beings are like the moon in rippling water. Fitful, fleeting, empty in their nature, bodhisattvas see them thus and yearn to set them free. Their wisdom is beneath compassion's power. Through dedication with Samantabhadra's prayer, they rest in perfect joy, the first of all the grounds, and henceforth, gaining this, they take the name of bodhisattva and are thus renowned. The Rinpoche, the Gawa, the Satambo Ming, the
로도가와
Raptu Gawa, the Jew, the Sa Jew, the Tambo Raptu Gawa.
이거 참아봐
Okay, so this is the name of the first bodhisattva ground. So they rest in perfect joy. That's the name of the first bodhisattva ground. And again, that is not where one becomes a bodhisattva, as a translator's note, but this is referring to the first bodhisattva ground. Then Rinpoche, that's the Dundagare, the Dawa, down the Chu, the Dundagare, it's something the Dawa, the Dawa.
수준 센터 로마 바이 돌아 니죠 돌아네
Then he
수준 센터
Dawa.
수준 센터 같은 거는 아주 동어들 사고를 맞춰 출연해서도 동어들만 맞추대요.
Then okay. Then
수준 센터 다 출연해서도 막 당도 우드도 발에 뭐 다투로.
Okay, then this sar. Then that sar, then
수준 센터 로마 바이 돌아 니죠 돌아는데
okay, then
좋아이 추이 나간다 왔다.
the Dundagare, the
좋아이 추이 나간다 왔다.
Dawa, the
좋아도 조금가로 추이 나도 다유선이에요.
less so,
전에 나지 못하봐.
less so,
못하봐 내고도 못하봐.
less so, less so. Okay.
좋아이 추이 나간다 왔다. 추이 나간다 왔다. 다유선이도 못하봐로다. 또 수요도 그러. 대나지 생각으로 깨지게지긴지네 못하봐레스.
Then Mitapa dang Tomba NGK.
좋아이 추이 나간다 왔다. 네 못하봐레스. 다유선이도 못하봐 나지. 생각으로 깨지게지긴지네 로마봐. 깨지긴지네 누가 못하봐레스.
Less so.
유당 라진이 동보통 돈이도 싫어로.
The
돈이도 싫어래.
then Semchen Tombani? Semchen Tombani
Yes,
Dandra?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Semchen Tombani. Then Shanchu
자유세븐디 사건 좋아나 나버 좋아샤시르 현재 원주지 근도 좀비메 로도 가와라 로도 나버든 담보시셔오스 근도 좀비 헤베 가와들라 사담목 미다버스 로도 나버든 담보시셔오스 대나존데 대나 토바주와 샤주 선배 사데 사담은 나존데 네바 송발라서 사주바 사주린지 토그레스 토바주와 예스
Okay, so I just asked Rinpoche to go back a little bit and explain. Beings are like the moon in rippling water, fitful, fleeting, empty in their nature. Bodhisattvas see them thus and yearn to set them free. Their wisdom is beneath compassion's power. So here it's showing that beings, sentient beings, are impermanent because they are momentarily fleeting. Momentary disintegration. So first of all, sentient beings are fitful, fleeting, impermanent, and empty in their nature. So sentient beings, so here you have, when you have the observed sentient beings, impermanence, and the emptiness of sentient beings, here you have it. Beings are like the moon in rippling water, fitful, fleeting, so suffering, fleeting, meaning impermanent and empty in nature. So the bodhisattvas see them thus. So the bodhisattvas see them as suffering, as impermanent, and as empty, and yearn to set them free. So their wisdom is beneath compassion's power. Through dedication with Samantabhadra's prayer, so eventually they rest in the first perfect joy, the first of all grounds. So eventually the bodhisattvas achieve the first bodhisattva ground, and henceforth gaining this, they take the name of bodhisattva and are thus renowned, or they become the famous bodhisattva of the perfect joy ground. And it's called perfect joy because of the intense amount of joy that occurs from achieving that first ground, from coming out of emptiness, basically. That's as a translator's note, to get to the first bodhisattva ground when you come out of, after having seen emptiness on the path of seeing. So, that's ma dene tsar tigso. There's only some. Raptu gawa tsar. The Ming. Okay, so we're going to end there. Then the don gemma ngatsu kapija then lelar. Yene tearing yabudu. Tearing selbudu shera pentogudu. So Rinpoche said we'll end there. And if anybody has any questions, we can do that. Sure.
A lot of my questions are more fundamental.
Great. I love that. Rather that. Fundamental is what we can apply to our lives.
So I apologize.
Things that are really like way out there, we can't really apply them, and it's just more conversation. Kind of like in the text where it said to impress others with less intelligence or something, having these kind of...
And I apologize for ignorance, but first, bodhisattva, is that...
Yes.
And correct me, because I think I'm wrong. Is that someone who has attained realization of Buddha and then chooses to reincarnate for the benefit of others?
Rinpoche, Shanchu Semba Garre. Shanchu Semba Garre, show.
Sentient tantric don't sanji kumu tubo shawo nyobe sen chaba je yokenge o denege
Shanchu Semba.
Kaza de la Shanchu Semba lo.
Okay, so a bodhisattva is merely a being who has achieved bodhicitta, which is the mind that aspires to become a Buddha. It's a mind that wishes to become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings.
Okay.
So once one has that mind, then he or she is a bodhisattva.
Okay.
As a translator's note, though, in order to achieve that mind, one first has to achieve renunciation. Mm-hmm. Renunciation is day and night thinking of getting out of cyclic existence. So mm-hmm. you don't think of anything else but getting out of cyclic existence mm-hmm. for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then bodhicitta, which is really great compassion, which is inspired by great compassion, is then wanting to become a Buddha so that you can get everyone else out with the same amount of intensity as you wanted to get yourself out. Okay. So that's really it. Once you have that mind state mm-hmm. where that's all you think about is becoming a Buddha for mm-hmm. everyone's sake, to okay. relieve their suffering,
okay.
and that's all you have in your mind, it's actually a state of mind. Chitta, okay. bodhicitta, chitta is mind, so it's Buddha mind if it's okay. looking at the words themselves. Okay. So it's a state of mind that's always there. Okay. Once one has that state of mind, he or she is a bodhisattva. Okay. Not a Buddha yet, but a Buddha is a bodhisattva. But a bodhisattva is just a
Not
being who has
necessarily.
that thought, and that's when he or she becomes a bodhisattva.
Okay. And then 2 other questions. The first one, when we were talking about entry and intro to the middle way.
Okay.
Is the difference in interpretation, can that be assigned to the relative of the readiness of the student? Or
No,
is that
it was just
completely-
English stuff. It's just
Okay.
someone used an introduction. I think entrance is better. It's just like going into the text that Nagarjuna wrote, really.
Okay.
Like getting into the text Nagarjuna wrote.
Okay.
So some say entrance, some say introduction.
Okay. And then the last question is the halfway Buddha. Can that be, or is that an intentional incarnation of a Buddha or Bodhisattva?
No, it's a
It's
division.
It's a division.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's one of the divisions of enlightenment.
Okay. Thank you.
Kon ran Sanjay yin, Sanjay mai yin.
Just a clarification. Back to the first line. We were discussing the Shravakas, and those halfway to Buddhahood are born from the mighty sage. And those halfway to Buddhahood you identified as solitary realizers or Pratyeka Buddhas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is that persons of medium capacity?
No. Yes. Both of them are.
Persons
Hearers and solitary realizers are both of medium
of
capacity.
capacity.
Rinpoche, the Nyentu dang rangjel, jipo din, dan tumuwalanji rimba.
Chibindi Ranje.
Nyentu dang rangjel,
Chibindi.
nika. Nika
Chibindi.
jipo din, teme.
Chibu Chungo Nyetu, Din Ranje, Chibu Sanje.
Rinpoche, the jipo chungo, the hladan me, the Nyentu da jumbo yure.
Chibu Chungo.
Jipo chungo, the nampi, the jipo chungo shanchu yomare, jipo din teme. Nyentu dan rangjel, jipo chungo hladan me.
Chibu Chungo do Lada Mei.
The Nyentu, the da jumba.
Nyetu Dajumba Yoro.
The Lama Kashe, the jipo chungo Nyentu, jipo din rangjel, jipo chembo yomare. Okay. There's just some, does not matter what, let's see. So we would say that within the scopes, that the small scope doesn't really begin to explain any kind of enlightenment, because it's really focused on still cyclic existence. The medium scope is where you find the Hinayana teachings, and so you could say that the hearer and solitary realizer vehicle would fall categorically under the medium scope. The teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. And then the teachings that lead to Buddhahood would be the great capacity.
Okay, so I'm trying to connect this with conversations we've had on Sunday a little bit. So you, clarification, you also said that, or Rinpoche said that hearers continue to require teachings. And solitary realizers...
In their last life.
Yeah.
Mm.
And solitary realizers didn't require teaching. I mean, I need a clarification.
Just the solitary realizer is able to go off alone without teaching in their last state of existence and realize enlightenment. A hearer needs a teacher all the way to the end.
What's the difference between the hearer?
Scope, ability, capacity. It's just a little bit higher than...
Okay, just a designation.
Yeah, it's just a designation. The Rinpoche, Nyentu dang rangjel, the gar shene the rangjel the gegen gugumare. Gar shene kon gegen gugumare. Kon ripa yar, Nyentu the rangjel ripa the yargudue. The Nyentu dang rangjel the sherap yar, ripa yar. So the solitary realizer is a little more intelligence than the hearer. So their scope is a little bit broader, but it's still within the realm of the Hinayana, but they're a little smarter. Yeah, there's bodhisattvas of sharp and dull capacity. Sharp capacity can hear a word and know the whole meaning of a stanza, but a dull capacity needs to read the whole book. Maybe something like that.
Okay. So
It's really Rinpoche is saying in terms of their scope, their aptitude.
Yep. So is that true also for bodhisattvas?
Yeah, there are bodhisattvas of sharp and dull capacity.
Okay.
Rinpoche, the Shanchu Semba Wandu Wangu Yirube.
Good.
Yeah, so there's sharp and dull capacity. There's bodhisattvas, like I said, that are called sharp capacity bodhisattvas. That's why in the Heart Sutra teaching, it's said that a sharp capacity bodhisattva only needs that mantra to understand the whole text. And that is the whole text. The Teata Om Gate Gate Para Sangati Bodhisoha. That's the entire text, and if you will, the entire stages of the path to enlightenment, from the path of accumulation to no more learning. So the bodhisattva of sharp capacity would understand that and be able to understand that summary within, whereas a dull capacity would need an immense amount of explanation. Then Wangu the Nyentu Dan Rangel Drapul due. Dan Dar. Okay, so you could say he's very hesitant to, because I'm sure it opens up some can of worms in debate, but he's saying that there is a similarity between saying that a hearer and solitary realizer, dull, clever, and the bodhisattva, dull, clever. It might be something like that in the way that you would understand it. Whereas a bodhisattva of sharp capacity understands very quickly, dull capacity requires more learning.
Yeah, just a clarification.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. So let's do the concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. And yeah, this is great. So we're going to do the text with commentary. I love this. This is fantastic. Tu Chena Rinpoche ngatsu sheda gapodu charan the dawa re chikshena the shiloka je nga ngatsu sheda pentogodu the jupo drogomare the kale peronang. Okay, I was asking if he would continue to go slowly, 4 or 5 stanzas at a time, so that we can really learn this text. We don't need to try to go 2 hours straight with this, because this is really heavy material, but if we could try to get at least an hour of straight commentary, that'd be fantastic. Because I say only an hour, because with the Lamrim Chenmo, it's long, so you're reading long parts, time's going by, then I'm reading long parts, and then there's a little commentary, so time's passing. With this, you've got 4 sentences, time's not passing. So 1 hour is going to be a packed full of information if we're doing it like this. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, good stuff, Maynard. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land, surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tu Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denro Langatsu Lamrim Chenmo Kanga Chiron Langatsu Nipo Kanga Chiron Lang.